The Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development must win over cynics when it announces its recommendations for a coordinated international approach to reform the international tax system today. Well, measures will range from debt relief and harmonising rules on subsidiary companies to linking sales and tax in each country more closely by changing reporting rules. But its recommendations are not binding, so member countries can cherry-pick which aspects they implement and, of course, at what speed. Companies here in the UK are concerned that the government will gold-plate these recommendations, whilst other countries will choose to protect their industry, meaning not all companies will be playing by the same rules. OK, well, let's join Malcolm Joy, who is BDO's lead partner on corporate tax services in the UK. Good to have you with us. So, reforming the international tax system, it's been a long time coming. What's the big plan?
Yes, it's a big area, it's a complex area. The G20 asked the OECD to look at this 2 years ago, after all the publicity about Google, Starbucks and Amazon, and it has taken a long time to look at. The issue is that we have a lot of international trade, but we don't have a single international tax system. It's just lots of individual countries that set up their own systems, and the profits are at risk of falling down between the gaps that exist between these tax systems. So the OECD is looking at two main areas really. One, around the coherence of the international tax framework, making sure that if profits are made by a multinational, they get taxed somewhere. And secondly, what the OECD have referred to as the substance, so making sure that the allocation of profits is in line with the location of where the economic activity takes place that generates those profits. So they're the two key aims of the OECD.
Would this mean a common tax rules? Because when it comes to the UK, of course, we've seen an influx of multinationals. It's a good place to do business, and of course the UK will not want to see common tax rules in place.
Yeah, so the UK, interestingly, has done a lot in the last few years to make its tax rules more attractive for inward investment. And it's following on from countries like Ireland, where they have the famously low 12.5% corporation tax rate. And that's been very successful at attracting inward investment. So I think the UK won't be keen to implement rules that would destroy that advantage. They'd only want to implement changes if they are applied consistently across lots of other countries as well.
How confident, though, are you that these recommendations will be put in place? Because we must stress they are recommendations. It relies on countries implementing them.
Yeah, so if we look at the two areas, if we look at the area of substance, which is around the allocation of profits, a lot of countries simply follow the OECD guidelines. So if the OECD comes up with new guidelines, then effectively the rules do change automatically for that area. But on the question of coherence, it does take each individual country to implement the changes, and there is a wide range of enthusiasm for the changes. So if you look at the UK or Australia, they're very keen to put the new changes in place, whereas other countries like the US are just a little more reluctant to make those changes.
Well, you've got your work cut out for you. Thank you for talking to us, Malcolm Joy from BDO.